Welcome to the edit mode portion of the Blender section. Now, to get to edit mode, you're going to click on the object mode up here and choose edit mode. Now, edit mode is where you can edit the mesh of this object in a much more comprehensive way. Now, you'll see it looks very different. That's because there's these dots on the corners and the edges are outlined. Now, that's because there are three modes available to us here. There's vertex mode, edge mode, and face mode. To access those modes, click up here. The first one is vertex mode, and I can select the vertices of this object. Now, vertices are just single points in space. With edge select mode, I can select individual edges of an object. Now, edges are just lines connected by two vertices. And face select is where I can select faces of the object. Now, faces are connected by 4 vertices and 4 edges. So what exactly can you do in edit mode? Well, you can do all of the original things that you can do in object mode, such as grab a face like this, or maybe rotate a face like this. But there's also many more options available in edit mode than there are in object mode. Namely, extrude, which you can use with the E key. Now this creates extra geometry from wherever you were extruding it from, just like this. There is also an inset function. To use this, press the I key. It creates a face within a face and pulls it in from the outer edges. What's really cool is when you use this in coordination with the extrude function. Now that I've insetted a face, I can extrude it inwards, and now I have a cool looking shape. I can also inset again, and extrude again, and you can create some pretty intricate designs in no time. Another really useful one is the bevel feature. To bevel something, select either an edge or a face and press Ctrl B. And just like that, it bevels the edge super easily. If you want to control how many times these edges are beveled, you can scroll the mouse wheel to get a really smooth bevel, which costs more performance, or a really low poly bevel. Another useful feature is the loop cut feature. To access it, press Ctrl R and hover over an edge that you would like to cut a loop in. Now, it's going to be yellow at first, and it's not going to confirm it as soon as you click. I'm going to create a ring cut here, but first I want to choose how many I want. If you scroll the mouse wheel, you can create more resolution in these ring cuts. I'm only going to use 2. So now that I've selected the position that I want them in, I'm going to click, and now I can choose where I want them to go. I'm going to have it go a little towards the top. Now, I want to extrude a little face out of each side here, and that's going to be a little difficult. I'm going to need some advanced selection techniques for this to work. To do that, I'm going to go into face select, and I'm going to select this whole loop of faces. To do that, press Alt and then right click on the horizontal edge that is parallel to the other edges in the loop. Now that I've done that, I can extrude, but it's going to be doing this. Now, how can we make it go outwards? Well, once you press extrude or something like that, you can immediately press another key to go into another operation. In this case, I'm going to scale. So I'm going to press the S key. But the problem here is it's going to scale on all axes, not just a couple. However, if I just try to scale on the X or the Y, that won't work either. So I'm going to have to scale on all axes except the Z axis. To do this, now that I'm in scale mode, I'm going to press Shift Z. And now it's scaling on every axis except the Z axis. And now I'm just going to find a good spot and click to confirm. Some other useful features of edit mode include the spin tool, where if you go into a view like this, you can click the 3D cursor by pressing the left mouse, and then you can actually spin some geometry out to create curvature. But this isn't the right axis, so we're going to need to change it. For a lot of these tools, they have options that you can change if you go up and click the screwdriver and wrench icon in the corner. Now, I'm probably going to have to choose the Y axis for this. You want to make it so that you can see the circle in the right axis that you're looking at. And now I'm going to click and drag, and as you can see, I can create curvature just like that. If you hold Control, you can snap it on increments so that you can get exactly 180 degrees if that's what you need. And before you make the operation, you can change the number of steps to improve the resolution or decrease it if you would like. Now, this is a pretty complex shape for having just started Blender 10 minutes ago. And Blender can be difficult to get the hang of. So for this reason, I've included a whole bunch of resources throughout the Blender section, such as articles, a cheat sheet, And also, I've started a Facebook group where I will be supporting any of you with your Blender questions, so make sure to find that in the next resource lecture. if that is something that you're interested in. You may want to take a few minutes and mess around with all these tools before you move on, just so you can make sure that you're getting the hang of it. Blender can be kind of difficult to get the controls down at first, but once you've got it, you can end up going super fast because of all the keyboard shortcuts. Make sure to let me know if you have any Blender questions, and with that, go ahead and move on to the next lecture.